Hey everyone, Dr. Frunky here with a really special knife consult for you. This knife is all the rage right now. It just came out and I'm really excited to bring it to you right now. I want to go ahead and thank Nico, my good buddy Today's Grail Tomorrow's Beater, for sending this one along. This is a very special customized version of the Olamic Tactical Busker, and we're going to open this up here. I just wanted to start out by saying that this case brings back a little bit of memories. If you guys will recall, the last Olamic I had on here, I had some issues with, but I'm excited to see this one because I've only heard good things, and this is the Olamic Cutlery or Olamic Tactical Busker. This is a sweet little knife, definitely a small EDC size knife with EDC in mind, that they've done in M390 and titanium, and this just came out a few weeks ago. It is available on the Olamic Tactical website for ordering right now, and the turnaround is not too bad in terms of place your order and then you get your knife. So this one in particular has this certificate of authenticity. It is a Simper pattern blade shape. That is this clip point that's going on right here. There's another blade shape called the Largo. They even just came out with a third blade shape. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's got a bit of a hook on the end of it, a lot like the Spyderco Myrtle. This one is done in the blue seabed frame, and with the 5 funky holes. It's got the blue seabed clip with bronze hardware and a gold nugget backspacer. So that just shows you a little bit about how much you can customize this knife. Now, if you were to just get one in plain titanium with a plain finish, it would start at $365, but this one came in round about $700, so you can get yourself into trouble very quickly with the options and the customizing choices that you have, and there are plenty of them. They quoted, that there are thousands of ways to possibly outfit your busker, and so, maybe no two of them will ever be the same. Maybe they'll make a few of the same ones, but you can certainly define your own, and this one is a very unique finish, and we'll get into the details of it here in a couple of minutes. Let's go ahead and see what we're working with a ruler here. Up front, you've got about a 2.4-inch blade overall. In terms of your cutting length, back to the handle there, it's about 2.6 inches. Back to the pivot, it's about 3 inches. The handle length, you're looking at right under 3.5 inches of handle length. If you include the choil area in your grip area, you get back to about 3.75 inches of overall grip area. The knife itself is about maybe 1.2 inches in overall height, and that attributes mostly to that blade size right there. This one is the smaller blade. I think that Nico and Nick Shabazz both wanted to have this blade shape for the profile in pocket because the Wharncliffe makes it even a little bit taller overall. The blade thickness is right at 0.4 inches, so a nice thin handle right there, perfect for carry. The blade stock comes in at 0.137 or 137 thousandths in terms of the thickness. So it's a strong, thick blade in a relatively small and compact package. So they've done some great work in fitting all that quality and everything into a small and carryable package right here. So let's go ahead and bring out a couple of other knives for a size comparison. Here's a little front flipper for you right here. Maybe some of you are aware, the Kaiser Feist, which is usually the smallest knife on my channel right here, but look how much smaller that is. Here's the Gareth Bull Shamwari, another front flipper knife. That's a 3.25-inch blade. I'll bring out some common knives right here. Here is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 that's absolutely dwarfing that knife right now. Here's the Spyderco Mannix 2, also much bigger knife overall. Let's see here. What else do we have? I've got a Spyderco Sliver Axe. That's a pretty good knife for comparison right there. And how about another just interesting knife, the Arcform Slimfoot. It's just a weird looking sort of Wharncliffe style blade right there. So interestingly small knife. This is a little bit different than what they normally offer. They have fairly large knives, sort of in the medium to large size range. So it's interesting of them to offer this smaller EDC size, and I do think it will be popular for that reason. This knife will be legal in a lot more places internationally, and I think that this is going to be a very popular model. And we'll talk more about why. I honestly think it'll do well. So up front, you have that beautifully done satin finish blade in M390 steel. They went ahead and went with the highest quality materials that they possibly could. It's done in a beautiful machine satin finish. My camera's having trouble focusing on it. But the primary bevel is a vertical satin, the flats are a vertical satin, and the blade itself is actually quite sharp. So again, the blade shape on this one is the Semper. It's got this clip point thing going on here, clip point, Warncliffe. I'm not really sure what to call it, but it's a very unique shape, and I think that's why most people are ordering it right now. That's the most unique thing about this, is that interesting blade shape. Also pay attention to their Instagram. They just released pictures of that hook point one that looks like the Spyderco Myrtle. Interesting shape there. Everything is rounded. The spine is not crowned, but there's a chamfer on the side. The hole is chamfered. This is all rounded off. Everything is smooth about it. Speaking of the hole, it is easy to access for a finger flick. You can get your thumb in there, and you can open it like that. I'm not really adept at it because my hands are a little bit bigger. But they claim that there are over 10 ways to open this knife. So let's go ahead and talk about that. It is meant to be a front flipper, to be open like that. But if you are dexterous, you can open it in a lot of different ways. I try to do it right there. I'm not that good at it. You can Spidey drop the thing. The detent is strong, so you've got to be very assertive when you're doing these kinds of movements. I'm going to wipe these fingerprints off. But it will open in a number of different ways, and that sort of improves the fidget factor. I will say that a whole lot of our knives, especially people who are watching this video, you probably buy knives because you enjoy the fidget factor. You enjoy messing with them, just like this Gavco Trasher right here. I could flick that open all day long. I just really enjoy the action from a fidget type activity standpoint, and this one definitely fills that role. You can play with it all day long, and it's a whole lot of fun. It rides on ball bearings, and it's very, very smooth. No complaints about that. How do you know that a small knife is smooth? If you can disengage it and then get the knife to close under its own weight just by shaking it gently, you know that it's smooth. Because small knives just don't have a very heavy blade, and so it makes it harder for them to close like that. I will say the detent on this particular one may be a little bit stronger than it needs to be. You saw me struggling maybe. It's hard for me to open it like this, whereas on my Gareth Bull Chamois, the detent is actually quite soft, so I can open it like that very easily. But that's okay. You know, I'm sure that with time and with strengthening my hand and smoothing this knife out a little bit, it'll be able to do that. So I'm not overly concerned about that. Let's move back to the handle and just gawk at the amazing work that they've done here. The customization is incredible. This is the seabed finish, and so they take their flat titanium handles and they just mill everything out. They grind it out, and then they anodize it in this beautiful way so that there's some matte finishes down in the crevices, and then there's polished and bright and shining blue anodizing on the peaks of everything, and it really makes the knife look like it's underwater. I'm hoping that the camera is capturing just a little bit of the dynamic sort of beauty that goes on this knife and how well done it is. The bronze hardware looks like gold on the bottom of the ocean, and this gold nugget backspacer is absolutely incredible. You can choose a bunch of different finishes, so this is sort of the max spec knife that you can get right here, again costing somewhere in the $700 ballpark, but there are multiple different finishes, and so take a good look at the pictures that they provide. You can ask them some questions through their Instagram or through email, and they will answer them. Super, super well-made knife right here. I am deeply, deeply impressed. Let's talk about the clip. The Olamic Swish clip got a little bit of flack because it was a little bit too short in terms of the height from the scale. I'm worried this one might suffer the same fate, but it seems a little bit taller, and it does have that Beg-style ball bearing. When I put this in my jeans pocket, it actually worked very nicely. This knife actually works really nicely in the watch pocket. It's so small. So what do I think of this knife? I think that it's an amazing quality piece. This one is perfectly made. It's super impressive, and I really hope that it does well. I'm not a huge fan of small knives because I like to have a bit more substance, but this one is true quality. I am deeply, deeply impressed. And I'm very thankful that Nico sent this one along. I'm not going to have a final diagnosis on this knife because it's not mine, but I can tell you that this knife is super, super nice. So thanks for watching, guys. Click like and subscribe. Head over to my Instagram and follow me there. And as always, take care.